Hello everyone. Let's start with the module 2, which is computer hardware. Our agenda is motherboard and CPU, RAM, that is random access memory, storage technologies, power supplies, CPU, printers, and troubleshooting focus. So let's talk about motherboard in a computer. So what is a motherboard? Motherboard is like the main city of your computer where all parts connect and work together. It's a flat circuit board that holds the CPU, that is the brain of the computer, to RAM, that is short-term memory, and GPU, which we call graphics card, and storage, that is HDD and SSD. It also has slots for power, USB, and other devices. The motherboard's job is to let all parts talk to each other so your PC runs smoothly. Let's start with motherboard functions. PC system architecture. Number 1. PC system architecture. The structure of a computer including the CPU, memory, storage, and I/O devices connected via buses. It defines how components interact to execute the task. Number 2 is binary data and instructions. Computer process data and commands as binary, that is 0 and 1. Instructions are encoded in a machine language for the CPU to execute the operation. Now, the number 3 is central processing unit, which is the CPU and the cache. The CPU is the brain that executes instruction in a computer. Cache is fast, small memory that stores frequently used data to speed up the processing. Fourth point is system memory, which is also known as RAM, random access memory, temporary storage that holds data and instruction while the CPU processes them faster than storage but loses data when the power is turned off. Let's come to mass storage, which is HDD or SSD. We will understand about the HDD and SSD in the later part, but I'll just brief you about the same. HDD or SSD, which is also known as the mass storage, is a long-term storage for files and programs. HDs use majestic disk while SSD use flash memory for faster access. Removable storage. Removable storage such as USB and SD cards, etc. These are the portable devices that store data externally, useful for transferring files between systems or backups. Now, let's understand about the clock speed and frequency multipliers. What is a clock speed? The speed at which a CPU executes the instruction. It is measured in hertz. Sign is Hz. Higher the clock speed, for example, 3.5 GHz. That means faster processing, but efficiency depends on the architecture of your system. Now, let's understand about the motherboard, CPU, and system memory connectors. What is a CPU socket? The seat on the motherboard where the CPU is placed is called the CPU sockets. Different CPUs need different sockets, so they must match the size of the socket. Socket form factors. The shape and size of the CPU socket, example LGA and PGA, it decides which processor fits into the motherboard. The chipset, the motherboard's brain that controls how parts like CPU, RAM, and storage talk to each other. System memory slots. The place on the motherboard where you plug in the RAM sticks. More slots is equal to more RAM that is possible that we can install in the motherboard of the CPU. What is RAM? RAM is also known as the random access memory. It is a fast, temporary memory that helps your PC run smoothly. More the RAM you have in your computer, it's better you can do a multitasking on it. Example, nowadays we have 8 GB of RAM till 1 TB of RAM widely available for domestic uses. What is DIMM slots? The DIMM slots are the long slots on the motherboard where RAM sticks are inserted. Most PCs use DDR4 or DDR5 DIMMs today. Alright, now we will talk about the motherboard storage connectors. SATA. It is the older flat cable connector for the HDD, that is hard disk drive, and SSDs, that is solid state drive. It is good for basic storage but slower than newer options. The common speed is around 600 Mbps, that is 600 megabyte per second. M2. It's a tiny stick-like slot for super fast solid state drive. No cable is needed in this. It is much quicker than SATA. The speed is 7000 MB per second. That is 7000 megabyte per second. Now let's talk about the eSATA. The eSATA is a SATA port on the outside of a PC for connecting external hard drive. We'll learn about the motherboard form factors. The physical factors, the size of motherboard, example ATX is the bigger one and mini ITX is the smaller one. Case power supply compatibility. Big motherboards like ATX needs big cases and standard PSUs. Small motherboards, mini ITX, fit in compact cases with smaller PSUs. Number 3. Number of adapter cards supported. ATX supports many GPU and expansion cards. Mini ITX usually fits just one GPU. Advanced technology extended ATX. What is full size and micro ATX? Advanced technology extended ATX is the standard full size motherboard that is 12 into 9.6 inches. Best for gaming and powerful PCs. Now we'll learn about the motherboard headers and power connectors. What is header? Header is a small pin on the motherboard for connecting front panel buttons like power, reset, and USB audio ports. Connection to case components. Wires from the case like power button, LED, USB port, etc. plug into the motherboard headers. Now, power connectors. Big cables from the PSU that gives power to the motherboard, that is of 24 pin, and CPU, that is 4 by 8 pin. One motherboard connector. The main 24 pin power plug from PSU that powers the entire motherboard. Fan connectors. Small 3 by 4 pin headers where case and CPU fan connect for power and speed control. This is the diagram which clearly shows the front panel headers, 9-pin USB headers, and audio headers. Better cards is better, smoother graphics.